I'm ready. Hashem. So we're going to continue on with bitachon and trusting Hashem. Now we mentioned until now, the more a person trusts Hashem, the more Hashem is involved in a person's life. The more bitachon, the more moon a person has in Hashem, the more hashgacha pratit he has. The more he's zocheh that Hashem should be involved in the minute things in his life as well. He says one of the benefits that a person who has bitachon has is that it brings a person to happiness in this world. Why? When a person trusts in Hashem, he has menuchat halef, he says, mida'agot ha'olam hazeh. His heart is calm from the worries of this world, right? Which is a very big blessing. A lot of times people's hearts are not calm, their hearts are all over the place. But a person that trusts in Hashem, his heart is calm. You hear this? He says that when a person has tavot, when a person has physical desires, and he wants a lot in life, and he's very taividik, he says such an individual always has like hitrotzutut hanefesh.
If I have a physical desire to drink crazy coffee and crazy chocolate,
yeah.
Am I doing a physical desire is considered? Of course.
Yes.
It's a dopamine.
Yes.
This physical desire that I'm calming myself down with a nice coffee and a nice
You didn't say that before. Calming yourself down with a nice coffee is something else. So if a person...
relaxes me, brings me to...
Everything is limitation.
It's okay, it's good.
Huh?
It's good. Say a bracha b'kavanah and drink it, that's all.
I'm saying this is right now to give me energy to relax and continue the day more better.
It's good. So L'shem Shamayim, it's even better. We're human, we need to eat, we need to drink, but yeah, if a person overdoses tavot, of course it's all tavot gufaniyot. The Chazon Ish says, Ochel za'ava tumah. I don't want to get into that now, but l'maaseh, food could be something that takes a person go too far also. Some people, they like wedding every day. They eat.
Eat food also.
2-3 hours a day, there's that, eating all the time. Right? And there's whatever it might be. That when a person has too much desires from this world, a person's soul is not calm. He always wants more and more and more. So a person that has trust in Hashem, he says, Sharui b'ashket. He's always calm. Ba'avidchan, he always has a certain sense of guarantee, v'shalvan, sense of serenity. Ba'olam hazeh, in this world, as it says, Baruch ha'gever asher yiftach b'Adonai v'yad Adonai v'tocho. A person that trusts in Hashem is considered a blessed person. It's considered somebody that's really b'simcha, somebody that's really calm, really tranquil, somebody that can enjoy life. Right? It says he's like a person, this person is bitachon, is like a tree that has its roots set in water, that even when it's very, very hot, and even when there's a famine, but the fact that his roots are set in water, it's like a source of life for him, that even in hot days he's always alive, always thriving. So to also a person who has bitachon is always thriving, even amongst the most difficult situations, even when there's anything. Right? The fact that his roots, his source of life comes from his connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, such a person is always b'simcha. It says also one of the benefits that a person that trusts in Hashem has is menuchat hanefesh. Right? Manidida b'drachim rechokot. Right? We know that he says traveling a lot, right, breaks apart a person's body, gets a person really tired, wears a person out. Sometimes people in a business, they need to travel a lot. And it wears the person out very much. It makes the person very tired. It says this one guy who was a righteous person, he had to travel out to a different country for Parnasa, and when he got there, he saw them doing Avodah Zarah. Right? You know what they say about Avodah Zarah. They say the Goyim, they serve a God that they can see, but he can't see them. Right? We serve a God that we can't see him, but he could see us. You know, so this Jew, this tzaddik, he goes to the Goy and he tells them, "Now you guys serve this Avodah Zarah, the Verim B'Telin. It's all fake, it's all nonsense, right?" This guy tells him, "What do you serve? What do you look forward to?" He told him, "I serve, right, Hashem, Melech Melechim Lachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? He runs the whole entire world, Shamayim Ba'aretz, and so on and so forth." So he told them, this guy told this Jew, he told him, "Your actions contradict your words." He told him, "Why?" He said, "If your God is so great, how come you need to come all the way here to make money? How come your God couldn't give you money in your own country?" Right? This guy who's a tzaddik was shocked. He didn't know what to answer. He went back to his country and he never left again for Parnasa. He said, "Hashem, I'm going to bring you money over here." The guy put him in a spot, right? Right? So what? When a person, the truth is, we find bitachon. We find bitachon even by.
So the question is, I'm sorry, he has a beautiful question. In our trade, we have to do, let's say, 4 shows a year.
Conventions.
You don't have
to do nothing. You choose to do it.
What do you mean by that?
You don't have to do it. You can make parnasa at home also.
No, when you're going out, Hashem is telling you full, how you say, full speed. When you go, even you right now going to learn Torah, you have to put the full ishtadlut. You're going to work, you put your full ishtadlut.
Нисан, скажи, почему ты делаешь шоу? Расскажи.
I'm asking now. If I am right now full force.
I'll answer your question on a general answer. I'm not going to give you a personal answer, right? We know by the man came down for everybody, right? The man came down for everybody, right? The man came down for everybody. Some people that came in front of the house, some people needed to travel an hour, some people needed to travel 3 hours. What did it depend on? It depended on their level of bitachon in Hashem. The more they trusted in a God and the more connected they were, the less they had to go out to get it, the more it just came to them.
Good question.
Yeah.
But what about the show? Расскажи.
Does this count it as if...
Конечно, тебе надо.
We'll get to the show in a minute, yeah.
Does this still count that you have emunah in Hashem? Let's say, like you said in our business, you can either go out for a show or you could go out for a private customer. Let's say I want to fly out to Florida or whatever to see a private customer for parnasa, to show him merchandise. Is that more or less, that's still like, do you still have strong emunah in Hashem?
If that's the profession that you chose, then you have to do the profession based on how the profession requires you.
Same thing.
You cannot become a tailor and say, I'm going to take a needle and just tailor the clothes without any thread.
Some people say the more you try to go after it, the more it runs away from you, you know?
In his office, and he can also make money outside of his office.
I can do the same money here, but I'm going...
No, so that's something else. If your trade requires you to travel, you cannot not travel.
It doesn't require you.
It requires a bonus. You choose to.
Because you want to grow more.
Rabbi, last time they had in the Sin
There's a
City
lot of
in
different,
Las Vegas, they had a show, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say nothing. Some of the
Don't
people
say.
went to enjoy there, not to go to the
But
show.
that's their business.
That's their business.
They can enjoy it.
Some people went to
Something
the show.
else. So let me tell you, if it consists of going to a place where you know you're for sure going to do avirot, for sure it's asur to go, right? But let's go on a little bit more. He's going to discuss this topic. Right? If you have bitachon not to go and you know for sure Hashem will send you the money here, He will send you the money here.
You're saying you have bitachon. You don't work certain days of the year.
You could say whatever you want. Your life has to prove that you have bitachon. The way you live your life is an indication of whether you really have bitachon. You could talk from today to tomorrow, it doesn't mean anything. Right? Let's see, let's go on. שיש לבוטח והשם מנוחת הנפש, הגוף העבודות הכבדות מנוחות מעטפות
We
הגוף.
go to a different direction because over here,
Yeah.
it's on our topic, it's a little bit harder to understand. A doctor, a general doctor for, let's say, is a heart surgeon. And
Yeah.
they want him to operate, let's say he works in Cornell in the city. They want this doctor to come to Long Island to make over there a surgery for somebody.
Why
So
not?
according to him, he's going to say, listen, I'm a doctor, I know Parnasai from Shamayim, I'm not leaving this hospital.
You shouldn't go to him anyways.
If he said that, he's already
If he's looking at a surgery as panasa only, it's a problem. You should go because...
Forget about it. A person that has merchandise, a person calls him in Miami and tells him, I want to buy right now $1 million of merchandise, be in Miami in another 24 hours.
He says,
You're
come
not
to
going to
me.
go? You're going to say, oh, my panasa is only over here? No, you're going to go because you see there's an opportunity to
No,
go.
what's the idea of parnassus only here? Why is it? Why is it?
your analogy,
Why is
you
it
are not
considered
analyzing
you're a
your business,
kofar or
jewelry,
whatever? You're
forget
not. You
there's
don't
a
have
million
emunah
different
Hashem.
businesses.
Because we're
You
analyzing
can't
different
travel.
businesses.
Of course you go,
What
it's
does
your
he can't
business.
travel?
What about if you sing
Parnassus
and your
only
father
where you
7 days you stay, but then you go continue singing. It's your parnasa.
I'll answer.
Wow, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. What about the singer? But he lost Malay ever since. 7 days they were sitting, and after that they started to go to the wedding because that's the
You're
parnassa.
allowed to go. You're allowed
I'm gonna get into this answer. I'm gonna answer this question
No, it's a
It's
private.
50 years.
of do I have to go out of my way or don't I have to go out of my way? One thing at a time. Questions at the end. Any question you have, save towards the end. We need to say once I'm about to close the book, you can ask me questions on what we spoke about, but not in the interim. At the end you can ask. Toto and halakha, at the end you can ask. It's better if you ask at the end, right? It says also another thing is that a person has bitachon in Hashem, he has freedom from difficult jobs. Why? When a person has bitachon in Hashem, he's freed from difficult jobs that kill a person's body. When a person does very difficult jobs, it wears a person out. We'll see why. And also, a person has bitachon in Hashem is not so lahut. He's not so fired up to get close to powerful people, to politicians, to the government, right? He doesn't look, right, at getting close to these type of individuals because he also knows, besides the fact that it's worthless, it's also could be very negative. All these people that work in politics and everything else, there's no commitment there. Everybody's two faces.
Somebody said.
V'abatech b'Hashem, a person that trusts in Hashem, listen to what he says. Bocher le'atzmo. This is a very important statement, right? It's a very important statement. That a person that trusts in Hashem, he chooses for himself a profession and a business that does not require hard work, but rather allows him to be able to become. He acquires for himself also a good reputation, and he doesn't choose for himself a job that'll occupy his mind a lot, and he'll choose for himself a job that'll enable him to be able to serve Hashem and to learn Torah properly, in order for him to be able to be free mentally and emotionally to be able to come close to Hashem, because he believes that no matter what a person chooses as his parnasa, that what he's supposed to make is going to come to him no matter what he does for a living. Why? He says, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a decree that this person will be rich, no matter what business he'll get into, he's going to be rich. Everybody has to do ishtadlut. To what?
Only the time when it's coming is going to be.
To what level? Let's see what he says. Why? Because he brings a Gemara that says, "She'ein ha'aniyut min ha'umanut ve'ein ha'ashirut min ha'umanut. Ele mimi she'osher shelo."
Some people, no matter what, they're going to be rich. Second time, you have to make some moves. And third one, he's never going to be. That's what he says.
So what? It says that what? The Gemara says being poor and being rich doesn't come from a person's profession. It comes from the Gezerah of Hashem. That what? That if HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed that this person will be wealthy, no matter what business he gets into, he's going to become wealthy. So he says over here that a person should choose for himself a profession, a job that'll enable him to be able to serve Hashem properly. That he shouldn't occupy his mind and his heart too much, because if a person will choose a job that'll occupy his heart and his mind too much, besides the fact that he's losing the ability to serve Hashem, right? But he's also doing all of that for no reason, because at the end of the day, this person would have came to him anyways.
Businesses require the mind to be fully there. They occupy the mind, and like you said,
To a certain extent, right? The Gemara says there are three people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates for them. One, a person that could learn Torah and he doesn't learn, right? One, a person that cannot learn Torah and he learns Torah.
Подожди, еще раз.
Hashem cries for them?
Yes.
Подожди,
One person
he-
Hashem.
Learn and he learns?
Подожди, he learns, he cannot. Еще раз.
say again.
Say again.
The Gemara says HaKadosh Baruch Hu cries for somebody that cannot learn Torah and he learns Torah.
Cannot learn Torah.
And he learns Torah.
What's the example?
What's the problem?
What's the problem? Nobody, this is a hard Gemara to understand, right?
That's it, maybe I'm stupid.
So I understand if a person, right? If a person could learn Torah and he's not learning Torah, Hashem cries for him. Why? Because you have the ability to learn, grow. Why are you wasting your time doing nothing? The Gemara says a person that could learn and that doesn't learn, it's considered ki davar Hashem bizah. He disgraces the word of Hashem. The Rabbeinu Yonah writes, a person comes home and he has the ability to learn and to get close to Hashem, and instead he uses that time to do nonsense. He's considered ki davar Hashem bizah, is disgracing the word of Hashem. Rav Shimshon Pincus asks, okay, but how come Hashem cries for the other guy? That he can't learn and he learns anyways. If anything, I would think the guy, if he can't learn and he's learning anyways, is Misirut Nefesh. Right? Is Misirut Nefesh, it should be even greater. You know why Hashem cries for him, Hashem Shempinka says? The fact that he can't learn and he learns anyways, and the fact that he has Misirut Nefesh, Hashem cries for him because why did you put yourself in such a situation? Why did you put yourself in a situation where you can't learn, where you're always so busy, where you have to be moser nefesh to find a little time to learn? The fact that you put yourself in such a situation, Hashem cries for you. Because you set yourself up in life in a way that it's very hard. It's very hard for you to find time to learn.
It's not in their hands.
Some people
Like
don't.
you said that 3 times. The rich make moves and the that doesn't give because
Yeah.
no matter what you
The rich man is very rich.
This one is also
busy. He pays people to learn.
A lot of people
But
become
some
rich
people,
without
it's not in their
doing it.
hands. The
No,
fact
I'm
that they're
saying
busy,
that
or they
the
have
person
they have a handful. Like I know, like
да.
some people they're
Благодаря.
more
Он
fortunate.
хороший вопрос
You can
сказал.
pay someone to learn on your behalf if you have no time.
Wow, that's a good knowledge.
Busy, yeah, you could do that.
If a person, if a Kadosh Baruch Hu threw into a person's lap, or a person's really
Some
busy,
people don't say Kaddish for their
and
parents.
he's very
Sit
righteous,
down more than 20 minutes to learn.
But есть люди.
So you want to move around.
You can pay
I
someone.
pay somebody to learn on my
Да,
behalf.
Rabbi.
but you should still try to
Some
learn
people,
yourself.
I know some people, they pay people in yeshiva to say Kaddish for them.
For
they deceased.
That you're allowed to do? Pay kaddish to say kaddish for your parents?
No, someone.
If you don't have any choice,
Pay money, you're allowed to?
if you don't have a choice, they do it. But
How do you respect the parents?
I know somebody that does it for free for people.
What's the idea with the Safas Bolan idea?
The Ramah writes, so some people, not everybody's made out to be able to sit and to learn. Everybody has an obligation to finish Shas, to finish Mishnayot, to finish Tanakh. Now, not everybody's made out to sit and learn like that. Some people, they can't learn for more than half hour, an hour a day. Right? But you still have a requirement to be able to learn. So they take somebody who's the Talmid Chacham, who's sitting and learning, they make a contract called Yisachar V'Zivulun. We need to say, make a contract that whatever you learn, I take 100% of the credit of. Also, we split it.
If you make $1 million a year, you're not the guy who learns. This guy learns. It has to be a 50-50, meaning you have to give him $500,000.
No.
And his half of his learning was for you?
No, it's not half. First of all, it's a machloket how it works. Am I getting half of his learning, or are we splitting 100% of the learning,
Right.
100? So we very carefully write on the document that you're getting 100% of the word, and I'm getting 100% of the word, not taking 50-50. And the money is basically what you make out to it to be.
lifestyle that
The
you need.
original.
Work out a number, even another lifestyle.
The original idea of Yisachar V'Zvulun in the Torah, which is Yichas Yisachar V'Zvulun in the Torah, the original idea is that you're going to sit and learn and serve Hashem, and I'm going to provide you with your physical needs, and I'm going to take a chelik in your Torah. So if I'm taking care of your gashis, you're taking care of my ruchnius. That type of an idea.
There's a Safas Bolan, a Talmud, the Abrach, is allowed to do with multiple people.
I don't know. Somebody asked me that question also. I
I
don't
know
know.
someone who does Safas Bolan with multiple people. Like the Abrach is learning, but he does it with 4 guys.
I don't know.
Is that allowed?
I don't know. I have no idea. I never looked into it.
Now, to what extent do we give you the are you mutar to do that? Because like you said, the guy has the brains to learn, but he's like, yo, I have money, let the guy learn from me, I'll support it.
No. You still have an achrayas to learn. You have a
Christ to learn.
responsibility.
But if you're a little bit,
to learn.
whatever, like you said, only 30 minutes a day capacity, you can't do it after that.
Even then, even if a person learns an hour or 2 a day, if a person is sitting well, then he should support and loan the Torah, make his because he's always getting more.
Running his statute.
But it says over here like this, right? You hear what he says? Right? People that become very wealthy and they become very big and very successful, he says it's not because of their ishtadlut and their cleverness and their smartness, it's because the Kadosh Baruch Hu decreed that he should be rich. And since Hashem decreed that he should be rich, everything that he did became very successful and he went up. You verstehst? We need to say like this. Some people say, you know why he became very rich? You know why he became this? And because he's very smart, he's clever, he knows how to do things, he's good in business. It's the other way around. It's because Hashem wanted to make him rich, he gave him all those abilities to become rich. The other way around. Not he became rich because he had all those abilities. But Hashem wanted him to become rich, Hashem gave him those abilities.
Is he good in business?
Yes.
Does he understand business?
Yes.
So that's also.
Hashem decreed he shouldn't be.
But Hashem, but
Well,
there,
yeah, obviously Hashem gives you everything.
how many people that are smart that don't make anything? Right.
Yeah, they work as a waiter.
A lot of people like that. A lot of people.
You know, I met somebody the other day that didn't even speak and didn't even know how to read in English.
They don't know how to sign.
Doesn't so my point being is there's no
Maybe he doesn't know.
My
how to
point
sign
being
in English,
is-
but he knows another language.
my point being is that if Hashem decreed that a person should be wealthy, no matter what a person will do, will become wealthy, and therefore he says,
Listen, there was a lady, Blumkin. Warren Buffett bought her company. She died at age 106. Blumkin, Rosa Blumkin. Warren Buffett bought her a furniture store for $150 million, and she worked till age 101. and she couldn't read English and this that, but she became one of the most richest people. Even Warren
For
Buffett.
example,
was a
last
company.
week, there's
You
a
Google
guy
it.
in Brooklyn, he won the lottery. Jewish guy. $100 million or something.
God bless.
What are the odds it's going to happen? God wanted him to win the lottery.
My point being is, the Chovat Lavod, the point is not all of this. The point is that a person should choose for himself a parnasa, a job, a profession that will allow him to be able to serve Hashem properly. Because if a person will throw himself in a job or in a position that will take him completely away from being able to serve Hashem, he's losing out on both ends. Because the parnasa you're supposed to make is going to come anyways, and now you took yourself away from Hashem.
Now young people.
What did you gain?
Here, for the last 40, 50 years, right? Each 10 years, something new schemes came out. Like in the last 5, 7 years, cash advance. Before that was leasing cars. Before that was when we were young, there was
Now they have
setters.
they have now also appliance warranties.
Yeah, appliance warranty. It's already old. I know.
That's a very big scam.
I heard
That's a big scam. But
Appliance
people-
warranty. I was scammed.
Appliance warranty, they pay you actually?
No.
I heard something.
Some people
I heard
do,
something
some
last week.
people do.
If you work all the time, you won't have time to make money.
Underground.
You work all the
No,
time.
appliance warranties. I know I had a chavrusa that he had a lot of friends doing appliance warranties. He says they make a lot of money, it's all a sketch. Maybe if it's a minor thing that something breaks, they'll fix, but if it's a major thing and they put in all the fine lines in the document that nobody reads anyways, and they're just racking in money like this. But anyways, another thing we'll do and then we'll start halakha. She'ein lo botech b'Hashem agmas nefesh mi'inyanei mischaro. A person has bitachon in Hashem, doesn't have agmas nefesh. You know what agmas nefesh is? That he doesn't have pain in his soul. He doesn't feel pained in his soul. For example, he says, if a person bought merchandise and he couldn't sell it. Person went and invested in merchandise and he can't sell it. He got stuck with the merchandise. What? Dead merchandise. Or somebody owes him money and he can't get to the guy. He's telling the guy, you owe me money. Tzaddik, hello. You talk afterwards. Right? So like this, if a person owes you money and you can't get the money from him, you're calling him. Right?
Corners, liners,
That's it, right? A person has to be talking in Hashem. A person has to be talking in Hashem. This is very hard to understand and accept, but it's reality. If a person has to be talking in Hashem, he won't suffer from such a person. Why? It says even if a person gets sick, because he knows that everything that Hashem does for him is for his own benefit, and Hashem worries and cares about him, and Hashem chooses the best thing for this person in the bigger calculation.
You know what? You make a very good point, but sometimes you think, yes, emunah, everything is for the best, hakol tova, but like you mentioned before, sometimes Hashem does it to, like, for example, people that become chozar b'tshuva. Hashem sees all the sins they did before, they put them through hardship, but really to save them time in Gehenna after 120. But no one wants to look at it that way. People want kaif in this world, not just in the next world. I mean, obviously the next world is ultimate, but people don't think that way. So we all think, oh, God is doing everything for the best, but we want it in this life because we're
Do it the best the way I think it's the best, not the way you think it's the best. Right?
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
point being is that a person needs to trust Hashem like you have a kid, right? You have a kid. Say you have a 5-6-year-old kid. He wants to go out, he wants to go on his own, he wants to be in his friend's house, doesn't want to do homework, doesn't want to go to school, doesn't do anything. So you let him do whatever he wants, that's what's good for him. But that's what makes him happy.
This young couple, they just had a child the other day. I think he had like SP, right? But for what? For obviously hakol tova and everything. But you know, if you think about it, they didn't feel like that.
It's a difficult thing, but I didn't say it's easy. But it's a
Everyone
difficult
has
thing. You
their
should
own
know.
opinion.
You should know that there's a Gemara. That says that Rabbi Akiva was traveling, and he wanted to go into a certain city. And when he went to the city, they told him, Rabbi, no rabbis allowed in the city. They didn't let him stay in the city. What did he do? I don't remember all the details. He had a tent with him. I think he had a chicken, like a rooster. He had a candle. And he had a chamor. So what did he do? He went outside of the city, made a tent. Right? His chamor got eaten up. His rooster got eaten up. His candle went out. Everything that happened to him, what did he say? Kol man da'avid achana latav avid. Everything Hashem does is for the best. What happened? And what happened? He found out that city, right, was robbed. Right, thieves planned to go into the middle of the night in that city, and they were killing people, right, and they were robbing. And he realized that his chamor, if it would have been alive, would have made noise, would have, right? And then the chicken would have made noise, it would have caused attention, he would have died, right? The fact that all these things died and went out, the middle of his candle went out also, right? He was saved because he was unnoticeable, right? It was unnoticeable. So the Ben Ish Chai writes, why did Hashem put Rabbi Akiva in such a situation? If Rabbi Akiva wasn't trying to get to the city, he was trying to get somewhere else, he just wanted to stop over. Why did Hashem make it that his route had to come into this situation? You know what he says? You know what he says? He says because Rabbi Akiva also had to die in that city that night. But what? Hashem said, I'm going to give him a test. I'm going to give him a test. I'm going to make his chamor die, his chicken die, his candle go out. If he accepts everything with love, I'll take away the gezerah from him and he'll live. But if not, he's going to be a part of them also to die. And every time he said, Kol man da'avin acharan letav avid, he was able to nullify the decree by accepting it with love. The Zohar says the same thing. The Zohar says that when a person accepts his suffering with love, it sanctifies himself and makes himself holier. And the Sefarim also say that when a person has a difficulty and he accepts it with love from Hashem, it removes bad decrees from a person. A person doesn't know what's supposed to be happening. But what HaKadosh Baruch Hu organizes things to the benefit of a person never really knows. It's like that famous story, right? That happened to some guy, I think it was the Gemara somewhere. Right? He wanted to know the languages of the birds.
The birds,
right?
And they saved them.
So many times he was supposed to die. Right, exactly.
Earthquake, the fire.
I don't remember all the details, but
at the end he also died.
He knew how to tell the language of the birds, and the birds were saying, "Oh, tomorrow he's going to lose money and this and deal." So he tried to avoid it. Right? And he says, "Oh, tomorrow he's going to fall down and break his leg." So he avoided it. He tried to outsmart it. At the end, he heard the animals talking that he's going to die tomorrow. He didn't know what to do. So he told him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give a kapara so many different ways before that you'll be safe from death at the end. But you try to kill himself. Right? But the point being is that a person has to know that in this world, it's not only a small picture that has to be good for me today physically. There's a bigger picture for a person's life, a person's purpose, a person's soul, a person's spouse, a person's children. Kadosh Baruch Hu is running the whole picture. It's very hard for us to be able to see the truth and the reality and everything, but you have to trust in Hashem, that Hashem is doing the right thing for us. Right? If a person doesn't trust in Hashem and he can't accept life for anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Today for young people it's very expensive. They don't make so much parnasah. The prices went up, but the salaries did not go up. This is very hard for young people.
Move to a cheaper neighborhood and go to schools.
It's not cheaper neighborhood. In Florida, they're also expensive everywhere. It's no such a thing. Cheaper neighborhood
for a living, so that you're gonna have
everything is in 5 waters. Everything expensive.
You're gonna go to Jersey.
No,
no, not necessarily.
5 pounds, you know you can buy.
No, I don't want to move to 5 towns. The only reason I bought because of the subway. I don't want to travel. I don't want to sleep in the truck.
I tell you the truth. With schooling, there are a lot of schools that are cheaper. And the thing is that in our communities, we need to create much more school and much more funding and much more fundraising for the schools, so the schools will be able to sit nicely and to be able to give discounts to people that can't afford it. But when a school has a $10-15 million expense a year, and half the people can't pay tuition, where do you expect the kids' school to get the money from? The building, electricity, teachers. Imagine you're paying $60,000 for each teacher. Okay?
My father just built a school last year.
Yeah.
And I made the calculations with him. If every person pays regular tuition, not $10,000 a year, every person pays about $5,000-6,000 a year tuition. With one good donation a year, the whole school is going to be covered.
Right.
The whole school is going to be covered. It's not a problem of funding, it's not a problem.
The reason why they charge so much is they're taking into account people that don't pay on time.
У меня дети уже все кончили, я просто говорю, вот молодые сейчас, молодым тяжело.
It's crazy, $12,000 for my niece going to K4 first grade.
$12,000 a year.
$12,000 for
$10,000 my don't want Spain.
About $15,000 for what?
25 years I was paying 5,000.
I know that schools have a lot of expenses and a lot of people don't pay also.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for them to give everybody a discount. It's very hard to give everybody a discount.
Balances out.
Because
Разно, бухарские туда не брали.
you have taxes, you have buildings, you have teachers. Imagine just teachers how much you have to pay.
Брендер не брал. Это
Half the price, it's true. So you know why? Because not enough schools. When you have more schools here, first of all, the more schools you have, the more competition you have, the better people become, the more put people on their toes, the more competitive it has. When you have one or two schools and they're packed and they're loaded and they're filling up, it's tight, you know. And you know what? You need good funding. If the schools would have good funding and good backers, they would be able to give everybody discounts.
People were actually giving money to yeshivas.
It would be good discounts. In Brooklyn, they have so many donors. If you come and you say, listen, I can't pay. This is my income. My kid needs to go to yeshiva. They'll take him in. They say, give me $200 a month. Because they have someone giving them $5 million a year anyways. Right? When you go to a place where the tuition is 95% of everything and they get maybe one or two donations that are... It's not easy for them to give you that discount.
бухарских не переваривают, они плачут денег где на Мерседесах приезжают.
And it's not going to do
Let me tell you a story. YCQ, they used to give a lot of breaks. You listening? They used to give a lot of breaks for people that didn't have enough money for tuition. A lot of breaks, maybe like 50% of breaks for people. If you don't have high, give me 5,000 a year. I'll take him. YCQ, back in the day, I'm talking about like 10 years ago. What happened? One day, there was a retired young boy, and he missed the bus to go back home.
So somebody brought a Mercedes.
No. So the rabbi said, I'll take you home. They checked inside what's it called, the sheet of the paper where the address is. They checked over there. You saw his address isn't for our service in this place. They took him over there. The rabbi took him. He sees an old house, broken down house. They said, okay, this is your house? He said, no, this is my grandmother's house. My house is 2 blocks down that way. He took him to his house, a mansion. The rabbi's looking at the house and this guy is telling me, he showed me a picture of this house. He's telling me, I live over here. I need you to give me a break, please. The rabbi gave him 50% break. The rabbi said, because of this person, I'm never giving a break to any person in this yeshiva. If you want to come to my yeshiva, you're paying full tuition.
I paid full tuition, let's kill my kids.
You pay full tuition.
Best thing is you pay full tuition, you pull off with your Ferrari. No one can say anything. Just pay full tuition.
So let me tell you, you have to...
This guy hurt.
You have to be honest. You have to be honest. You know what the problem is? You have to be honest and look at the bigger picture. Schools have big expenses. You can't come to... If you know you could pay tuition, pay. If you can't pay, say can't pay.
Туда не брали, когда мы их дети брали. Мы были неграми для них.
But the problem is that a lot of people, they try to... And then it takes a big toll on the school. And they realize that school...
Kids, imagine $60,000.
It's a lot. That's a lot of money.
$70,000.
You need to work it out with them. The school needs to have good funding, and if people are paying on time and they have good donors, it's easier for them to give discounts. But when everybody is trying to play them and they don't have enough money to pay their teachers and they're 2-3 months late, what happens in schools, they're 2-3 months late on payments, it takes a big toll on them. They can't always do it.
Они лучше там 30 человек в одну комнату суют. Там эти учителя не professionals, not with the license.
Depends where. It depends where. My kids go to Darchei Torah is very good.
No, it's good.
I live in Farakon.
Yaakov.
Very good.
But
For everybody
lots of them,
different.
they just...
For everybody different. They look at your income. What?
Really?
So low income, they help you. So high income, that's very good.
Yeah, but even if you have 7-8 kids, you make 100,000 a year.
Because they have the wealthiest people there backing the school.
Даже 6.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. How does it work when you compare tuition?
It's an excellent school.
Huh?
It's an excellent school, huh?
I'm saying, what happens when you have 2 kids in the same class and their parents speak, oh, you're paying like that, I'm paying like this?
They look at your income.
Yeah, but then...
Don't talk about it and you won't know.
Talk about it.
They look at your income. That's how they work. If you tell them, look, I can't pay for this, show your income, and they really see what you could pay.
Kids, they're gonna work with you. So 80, 90, 120,000.
That's because they have the ability. My kids, before I moved to Morocco, I registered my kids to the Cheder in Brooklyn. I met with the principal. I was in Kollel. My wife had a regular job, and I told him I'm in Kollel. This is what we make. What could you do for us? You know what he said? He said, tell me how much you could pay, and that's what we'll do. Why?
Now there's a cheder in
Because it defeats the purpose.
Because the bottom line is that they have good funding, they can afford to do that. But if you go to a school where your tuition is their life source and they don't have that extra funding, they cannot give you a discount. I know there are schools that tell you it's $1,200 a month. We cannot give you a discount because if we get a discount, but we have to raise the money other places. It's not easy for them.
I feel like they're taking 50%, like a 50% default basically. So there's doubling up.
Just in case.
Just in case that 50%.
Could be. They have to be smart also, I guess.
I know that when I was growing up, my parents didn't get a nice car. We always drove a Honda. Why? Because
Father had a business. What are you talking about?
my father was yes, we didn't have a nice car. We had a regular car. Now
You still have another 10 minutes, Chaimov.
now all of us
Sit.
are
Somewhere at 11.
now all of us are out of school. My little brother left. My father's
For some people, it's not about you have to check. We have to do background search on their actual lives. Because you can check, we make 30,000-40,000 a year on paper, but they make another 300-400 off paper. You understand? Not just for the yeshiva, but for themselves. They want to.
Let me tell you, I'm friends with a principal of a school. He tells me from experiences how people used to play it. And he says that, his school itself, at a certain point, one of the schools that he was a part of fell apart because they were doing good, but there's no funding. It could fall apart. When you have a big school that's successful and it's running, you could have a $10-15 million a year budget, even more. It depends on what you're doing. When you have a school, some schools are big. Like where my kid goes to school, each grade has 8 classes. Okay? There's about 3,000 kids in the school. The campus is a whole block, like a massive block. It's a big block. So let me tell you, over there, they hire top teachers. They pay top dollar to the teachers.
But forget about that.
When you have such big expenses, you don't have a choice. Both. When you're having a school and you want it to be successful, I speak to teachers. Schools that don't pay the teachers well, it kills the whole image of the school. Okay, when you have a school that's sitting well on money, they can hire best teachers. They can have nice activities. They can have up to date and everything. They can have assistants. They can have programs. The kids grow much more when the school has proper funding. They're able to excel. When you're choking a school and they have to minimize everything, you're not going to get so much out of it. As a community, you have to understand that a school is the root, is the source for all your whole community for the future. It has to be a place where we're putting our money into the school because our children are going to go here. But if everybody thinks they'll get money from somewhere else and they come and they want to try to trick you to pay $200 a month,
There's only one way to fix
can't do it.
now.
Yeah.
That the people that are giving donations to the yeshiva should be so involved in the yeshiva, not just to give money. They should be involved to hire a team in charge of the finances of the yeshiva. The Rosh Yeshiva should not be in charge of getting money. Just like every other yeshiva, forget about that, every other rabbi, every other kollel, they should have a team of people to be in charge of the expense.
I'm sure they do.
Why should the Rosh Yeshiva of the kollel come to New York to go collect money?
I'm sure they do.
No, they don't.
I don't know. Every place is different.
You see the Rosh Yeshiva of the yeshiva coming to collect money?
And every place is different. I don't know.
They should have a team of people that should be in charge of money. The rabbi of the yeshiva should not be thinking about money. He should be thinking about his check.
That's true.
That's it. He shouldn't be thinking about the expenses of the yeshiva.
That's true.
100%. Because the rabbis are actually in charge of the finances of the yeshiva, this is the problem. This is the problem.
Could be certain yeshivas.
With
I don't
all
know. It's
this,
different.
how do you expect the person to have 100% emunah and say, you worked enough? Everyone's like, yo, there's so much expense, we gotta make more money.
Make more money. Make more money is
Make
good.
more money. How are you gonna say make more money?
But don't do it on the expense of your whole life. There's nothing wrong with making more
Why
money.
do I have to
But you
feel-
still have to pray, you still have to learn, you still have to be a good Jew, you still have to spend time with your family.
It's nothing for Israel.
Yeah.
I have a call with 50 Avrech and I'm coming to New York to collect money.
Okay.
Why should they come to New York to collect money? Why should they come to New York?
Because they don't have
That's like a take care, you too, that's
No, why should they come to New York?
Look, you're asking a very complex question. It's not so simple because who's going to come to collect? A secretary? Not everybody comes. They have some people that are professional collectors.
If you're upset with the yeshiva, the first thing you should do before you bring the Avrechem is to make sure you have a team for
Have
finances,
funding,
to make
you
sure
need
that the
funding.
funding is done.
Funding.
You cannot go and teach you.
No, I'll tell you what happens. I had a Rosh Yeshiva here. He's told me his kollel was on the verge of collapse. I said, why? He had big finance people that were funding his kollel for years. Suddenly got a phone call, no more funding. He has to come up with $50,000 next month to pay the Avrechem. What is he going to do? So right now, what should he do? Tell him right now, what should he do? What should he do? When you see a Rosh Yeshiva, you have much more derech eretz to give. If he's going to send some Joe Schmo to come collect money and say, don't take
He's going to start going fishing.
The team of finances, a person that opens up a yeshiva, a person